Hello there and welcome to the Standpoint. Still in the month of July, celebrating 14 years of the Standpoint, 14 years of consistency. You can feel my excitement. 14 years, Charlie. Not easy. Private production, 14 years. Week after week. Calculate. 14 times 52, sometimes 53 weeks in a year. What's the calculation? Over 2,000 people, women, and a few men being on the Standpoint. Well, it's all about feminism. Feminine side, listening to the feminist agenda. And today I bring to you 3 young women who are another generation of feminists pursuing the gender agenda, advocating for women empowerment, but they are working at the grassroots, working with people in the communities, in the rural areas, in the urban areas, in the towns and villages, empowering the women and the girls there. As part of our 14th anniversary, I present to you what some of these feminists who you think are too loud are actually doing to help our women and our girls. Well, let me say thank you to GTP for my cloth once again. My dress is by Leran Collections. Thank you to her. Makeup product always by Note Cosmetics, which is distributed in Ghana by Silver Queen Cosmetics, and beautifully applied. My makeup, and then today you see my scarf is different. You know, it's like a gilly. It's by Makeup by Teiba. They also do the henna, you know, during the women call to worship. You saw my hand with all the design. They do that as well. Well, so thank you to all of them. Thank you to all those who have been in and out and on and off the Standpoint. You all have made this program what it is today, and we are grateful. We take a break. When we come back, we meet the grassroots feminists. We'll be back. The Standpoint, and yes, 14 years of the Standpoint this month of July, and I am super excited. 14 years, week after week, 52 weeks every year, sometimes 53 weeks, and by the grace of God we are here. And today we are about to celebrate the young feminist activists working at the grassroots. Sometimes you think that the women are just talking, they are making noise. You don't know, they know what they are talking about because they interact with the women, they interact with the girls, they know the challenges. It's not just about making noise. So I have with me 3 amazing young women who are doing great things, helping our girls and our women make a living, empowering them, and making sure they take their destinies into their own hands. I'll introduce them a bit, but let me say thank you to all our supporters, those who've been on and off the program over the years. And this time, we say thank you to Go-Got Yogurt by Penta Foods, Puma Drinks, and Wick Purified Mineral Water by Casa Preco Company Limited, House of Food, Antivera. We are so grateful. You've been with the program close to 10 good years, and we are super grateful to all that you do for us. Yep Cleaning Services, everything cleaning, they will do it for you. Kodam's Gifts and Stationery, Stunning Floral and Decor for giving us the plant, both natural and artificial, and we're grateful to everybody who's been a part of it. I'm so much in a hurry to speak to these amazing women who I'm about to learn from. They told me that I have to learn and unlearn. So please, I'm here to learn and unlearn. Menopausal woman, yes, we'll get there, you know, but they are all my children. But they will grow and come and meet. 2, 3, 4. All right, then. Okay, can I have my space? Okay, so seated right opposite me, I have the hardworking young lady by the name of Sharifa Awudu. She is a development consultant with UNFPA, right?
Yes.
Welcome to the Standpoint.
Thank you.
And next to her, I have Nuolaine Mensah. She's the founder and the chief executive of iGrade Africa. She was one time an Uber driver as well. Welcome to the Standpoint.
Thank you.
I had to bring that one in. That was my pride, you know. My daughter was driving an Uber, you know, but that thing, you need to revisit it, you know, that YouTube. All the experiences, you need to put it there. And next to me is the shortest amongst us all. Francisca Nancy Hagen, she's the founder of Developing Women for Skills and Opportunities Initiative. Joso.
Yeah.
Joso. Welcome to the Standpoint, ladies.
Thank you.
And I say ayiko to all of you. Now, let's start with you, Franca. What's your initiative all about? Developing Women for Skills and Development.
Okay, so growing up, I saw many organizations who were into women empowerment, and the empowerment is in quotes.
Okay.
And one thing I realized was that most were just pandering to the patriarchy. They would just do this for doing its sake or the funding that came with it. And so I decided to do something different and own an organization that is tagged as a feminist organization. And so we pride ourselves being a feminist organization, and we are into women development and girl child.
Okay, hold on. When did you start this?
We started this officially in 2017.
In 2017.
Yes.
And you said you wanted to establish an organization that will be tagged as feminist.
Yes.
Weren't you afraid?
No.
Didn't you know what was being said about feminists then and all that?
I heard. I have been called...
But you still didn't mind. You wanted to be tagged as a feminist and your group feminist organization.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And so that was how come we started Joso in 2017. We started with the skill development. We go into communities, find out what the women want to learn, because we realize that economic freedom is very important, especially in our rural areas. And so we do that, and then when we get the skill that they want, we find experts to train them on. And then we try and get some government agencies into it to find funding for them to start with.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we also have a Speak Up project. The Speak Up is on domestic violence. Yeah, sexual and domestic violence. And so we go into the community, start the conversations around domestic violence. We realize that most of them don't even know that what they have been through can be termed as domestic violence. And so starting these conversations, when we are done, we encourage them to keep at it in their churches, markets, wherever they are. And then we go back and then assess whatever that we've done. We also have menstrual hygiene that we do. Okay. I can go on. We have about 5 or 6 projects that we are doing.
That's fine.
Yes, but because of time.
No, you talk about it.
Okay.
You can,
thank you. Yes. She's my mom. All right. So menstrual hygiene, we have the Clean Period campaign.
Clean Period?
Yes.
Okay.
Where we focus on sustainable menstrual hygiene.
Okay.
Because we realize that the sanitary pads are not sustainable, and so we are just working around ways to have products that are sustainable in the long run. And this year, I think 28th May was Menstrual Hygiene Day, and then we did this on the Here for Her. Here for Her by UNFPA. That was the theme for the year. And so, yeah, we fell on that to do a program in the Volta region. We are yet to do one in this month of July as well, and then continue in the month of August and September in the Central region as well. We have the Wool Wash. The Wool Wash is about women in wash. We realize that when we talk about water and sanitation, women take the lead.
Okay.
But when organizations go into the communities to give them projects, most of the time it is men that take the role. And so we use our Wool Wash to sensitize women on leadership, to accept that and take charge and lead these projects. And so far we've sensitized more than 300 women in the Central region.
Great.
Yeah.
Right. So in summary, your initiative or the Joso as into politics, as into
economic
empowerment,
yes.
into health,
sexual reproductive health,
rights. It's into hygiene, and
domestic violence.
Yes. So 5 in all. Well done.
Thank you.
So when you are making noise on social media, I know you are working. Okay, great. So you are not social media feminist. Okay.
We are social media feminists. we take that with pride. Yeah.
I, I thought you wanted to disassociate yourself.
Oh no.
Okay.
I'm a proud member.
Noeline, I read.
Yes.
What do you do?
Oh, IGRED Africa.
I read Africa.
Yeah,
Okay.
so IGRED is the Institute for Gender, Research, Education, and Development.
Right.
And whatever we do is in the name.
Yeah.
But to break it down, we are more centered on education.
Okay.
Because we feel when it comes to advocacy or whatever it is, economic empowerment, political empowerment, empowering women to know their rights when it comes to resisting gender-based violence, all these issues that concern feminism or concern gender work, education underpins everything. So that is pretty much our focus. Also, we really work with hand in hand with the educational institutions. So our projects are mainly in senior high institutions, junior high institutions. We do projects such as STEM mentorship. And in that, we are trying to encourage more girls into STEM. What we realize is that government is taking on all these initiatives, trying to drive infrastructural improvement to make sure that children go to school these days and have access to certain resources that put them at par with other children in Western countries. Government is doing their best with that. Other stakeholders are doing their best with that. So then why is it that the girl child, when we look at percentages of girls going into STEM, or of women going into STEM, why is it that women still have the numbers low? And we realize that it's a psychological issue. So even though we are saying, we have a STEM center, nobody's stopping the girl from going, the teacher might have said something in the classroom that is at the back of her head, that math is not for me.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about it, you got 9%, don't worry about it, you're a girl. And that sticks. So that girl child is not going to enter that ICT lab, because whatever has happened there doesn't concern her. So we are very focused on breaking the psychological barriers that stop women and girls from pursuing STEM. So we do that, and we also do training in leadership, building capacity of girls. Whenever we get the chance to talk to girls or women, we are trying to make them see that gender is never a limitation, that you can rise to whatever level that you would like to aspire to. And by so doing, in our mentorship, we try to create a link between women who have been there and done that, so that when these girls look at these women, they know it's possible. It doesn't matter whether they are Ghanaian or not, but we try to create some sort of exposure for them to say that it's possible. So mentorship is another very important aspect of our work. We do economic empowerment, because when you look at, we realize that most of the issues that encompass the suppression of women falls back on the fact that women are impoverished, or women are at the bottom end when it comes to economic power. There are a lot of women who would speak up if they had economic power. We have situations whereby women are doing so well, but still then that becomes psychological. That's another way to look at it. But most of the time, women are constrained by their resources. So economic empowerment is another important aspect of our work. And we keep on at it. And making girls understand their bodily autonomy, teaching about consent. We also have an initiative that concerns menstrual hygiene, pretty much like what you are doing. Yeah, we call it Ahoto.
Okay.
Yeah, Ahoto menstrual campaign. And also trying to encourage girls to menstruate in a more hygienic way that also protect the environment. Yes, so we do that as well. These are some of the things that we. Sorry. Oh.
On that note, I'll take a break. When we come back, I'll go to Sharifa. Lord. I told you. That's Franca.
No.
Nancy. Franca, Nancy Hagen. Please, yes, that's it.
I didn't mention collaboration.
You're watching The Standpoint. We take a break. When we come back, we'll go to Sharifa to find out the work she does at UNFPA. And then I also like to find out, why do they call themselves feminist and not gender activist? There, no, somebody did this.
Yes.
I'll be back. Welcome back to The Standpoint. We're celebrating grassroots feminists who are working at the grassroots. I mean, not that those who work at the policy level and the consultancy level are not doing it, but we just want to showcase what is being done at the grassroots with the less privileged. We've heard things like you should go to the rural areas. That's where they are needed, not in Accra. Don't sit in Accra and be doing this and driving big cars and hey. Do you people have own big cars? Anyway, let me say thank you to GTP for my clothes, my dress by Liran Collections. My dress is by Liran Collections. Makeup products by Note Cosmetics, distributed right here in Ghana by Silver Queen Cosmetics and beautifully applied by Taiba. Makeup by Taiba. Thank you so much to her. Now, Sharifa. Sharifa is a gender consultant with Impact Aid Africa. Now tell me about Impact Aid.
So Impact Aid is a community-based organization that talks about nutrition, talks about sexual reproductive health and rights, which is the unit that I oversee, because that's usually where my specialty is. However, unlike Franca and Nolene, I did not start off as a feminist. I started off as a regular young person on radio talking about reproductive health issues. So what then changed along the line was when I really got interested in questioning narratives. For example, why are my colleagues dropping out of school? Why was there a pregnant girl when I was writing BEC? Why are the status quos different for me and for my male colleague when I was in high school? So from there, I started getting really interested in these conversations, having these tough conversations. So moving forward, I ended up I'm actually a master trainer for gender transformative approaches, specifically for programming. So I target organizations and then how the interventions will trickle down to people who work within the organizations, their partners, and even to their beneficiaries. And also I'm into youth empowerment. I'm really passionate about youth empowerment because, like Nolene said earlier on, education is key. But what kind of education are young people getting? Is it the same education that we are getting in the classrooms, or is it a different kind of education? What are the impacts of these different types of education? And for me, I find it very key to changing narratives and also in the feminist world. So right now, what I do now by day, my day job is with the United Nations Population Fund, but on the side, I work as a consultant for organizations within and outside of Ghana. And this also means that I have been to every region in Ghana. I have been to the communities, the hard-to-reach community. If anybody has been to Zabzugu, I don't know how this road state is now, but in 2019, if you've ever been to Zabzugu, you know how difficult it is to get there. If you've been to areas around the Oti region where the river basically cuts off a huge chunk of people, you know how difficult. And there's a sort of pride that goes into these work, right? So when you reach out to these people, you realize that there are so many gaps to be filled for women and for young people. We can talk about menstrual health challenges, we can talk about reproductive health justice, talk about rape, defilement, even abortion, access to abortion. The policies are all very shrouded in values or norms that we are not quite sure who is really serving. So basically, I am very interested in policing. Right now, I am into socio-legal scholarly research, where I'm looking at what are the laws that we have, what policies do we have, are the people at the grassroots really understanding what these policies are? Do they know that they exist? If they know that they exist, how are they engaging with these policies? And if they are engaging, how are they using these policies to mobilize rights for themselves and for other young people and other women there? I'm also looking at organizations. How are organizations translating these laws into into simple language for people to easily absorb them? Are they translating it based on their own values, on their own perceptions of what is right and what is wrong? And yeah, basically around that side. So when we talk about impact aid, we look at mentorship for young girls. We look at, I have a background, my undergrad was in nutrition from UDS.
Yes, okay.
So I have a background in nutrition. Impact Aid started off as a nutrition-based organization where we are looking at empowering mothers, specifically financially challenged mothers who have infants, because we're looking at addressing malnutrition of children between the ages of 6 months to 5 years old, because these are their formative years. So what we did was to find sponsorship to train these women on how to provide good complementary feeding when the children pass the 6-month stage, how to take care of them nutritionally so they're able to develop well. Because at that stage, once their brains do not develop well, then they end up having learning challenges. But moving forward, I realized that my passion was more on how to find that interconnectivity between nutrition and its challenges for both the mother and then the child with their reproductive health needs and also with their gender needs. Because most of the women, the girls we reached out to were teen mothers. They have either dropped out of school or they were not even in school in the first place. Now they have another child to take care of. What is their state as a teen mother? How might we be able to help this teen mother to possibly reintegrate them back into school, get them to a different school or their old school, which really wasn't really much of a success, getting them back to their previous schools.
Yeah.
Yes, so I mean, it's another conversation. We have this reintegration policies of teen mothers.
Yeah.
So that's when we decided to add another bit of gender and reproductive health units for Impact Aid, which I currently.
By the way, Sharifa, so now are you one of those who identify as feminist?
Definitely,
You,
I do.
You do identify as,
yes,
as a feminist.
definitely.
Okay. Now, listening to all three of you, I'm just wondering, does it take one who is restless in the soul, body, mind, spirit to be a feminist? Because you all seem to be very restless human beings. You're doing everything. There's the sexual reproductive health aspect. There's the financial literacy. There's the health aspect. There's, I mean, so many things. But I get the impression, that's just the lighter side, but impression that all of you, what you're pursuing is the holistic empowerment.
Yeah.
Which is the embodiment of what we, the Standpoint, stand for. I mean, from day one, we pride ourselves on the fact that we believe in the holistic empowerment, the all-rounded development of the Ghanaian woman or the African woman, any woman everywhere, I mean, that you find them. So you asked about Zabzugo. And please, beyond Zabzugo, there's another village called Zogotambion. I've been there. It's just Zogotambion. There, you when they speak, you can hear tree, you can hear gun, you can hear away, you can hear, because they are all, the migrants. They follow the river. Wherever there's, fish, they move. So you have people along the coast, all of them. Yeah, that's it. So I know that road very well. Very well.
You know that.
I tell you, I have scars to show for it. I know that hustle, but well done for what you're doing. So you've been doing this for how many years?
Since we rebranded from 2015.
2015,
Yeah.
2017, and you?
I started in 2011.
2011.
When I was just going to high school.
Wow, restless. That's it. But Franca, would you say that you're seeing results? Is it bearing fruits? What you're doing?
Yes, I think, and so if I would go back, one of the reasons why we decided to carry out all these projects was because I saw, and some of my team members also saw, that if we leave the sensitization and education to women who do not properly understand feminism, they are going to keep on repeating the same things that had been said over and over again. And so this is why...
You give what you have.
Exactly, yeah. So we decided to go do all this. And then all these projects has its survey that we do to assess the impact that we have made. So the clean period projects, for instance, when we go into the schools, meet the girls, at the end of the program, not projects, at the end of the program of the day, we issue questionnaires to the girls to fill, and then we make sure to go back in 3 months' time to assess what they are doing. And it's the same for our Speak Up as well. Last year, we collaborated with iGrade to do a program in a nursing school in Kumasi. And we had our community outreach lead go back to assess what was done. And what we've gotten so far shows that most of the boys do not understand some of these things. And so we need to go back again. And then if it's just meeting the boys alone this time around, we need to do that and ensure that they've really understood the sexual harassment, because most of them still think that what they do is not sexual harassment. Yes. And so these are some of the ways that we get to know that what we have done is either yielding results or not. So yes, I see. And when I talk about the economic empowerment aspect, I mean, there are some people that make me proud all the time. Our first project, when it's the one skill reduce poverty in Aguna Sudo, there was a child who had a baby then. And then she just approached me, she wants to learn how to do beads on Chalawoti.
Yeah, okay.
And she learned it with passion. And so she was one of the people that we gave something to start. And today, when you go to Agnes Redu, she has a shop that she sells the beads to other people who do those things. And like every time I hear from her, I feel so proud that she's doing so well for herself now. Yeah, so I see.
She's now a madam.
Yes.
Owns a shop.
Yes. And she's now taller than me. Right. So yes, we see the results. Yeah.
I agree.
What I would say is what really counts for us is a change in mindset. Now, mindset underpins everything.
Right.
So, well, research is in our name, Institute for Gender Research. Yeah. So that is one way we are able to assess how far our program goes to achieve its goals. And what we realize is that even if our goals are not completely achieved, we realize that there is a shift in mindset.
Right.
And it is a process.
Right.
And it is very important. We feel proud that we are able to set people on that pace. And the rest...
Because changing mindset is one of the most difficult.
Yes. Yes. So once we are able to make people see that there is a problem, because until they see that, there is nothing you can say that goes into their ear.
Yeah.
So once we're able to make them feel there is a problem, like as low as in the JHS system, we are able to make girls see that it's not okay for the overall school prefect to be given to a man. It's like the overall school prefect position is always reserved for men. Yeah. And then there's another position that is girls sideline for girls prefect. Yeah. In SHS, it's like that sometimes. Now, after interacting with some of these girls through our programs, you talk to them again and they realize it's not okay. Yeah. They start to question. And that is very important. So far as we get them on that journey, the rest is self-evolution. Yes, and that is very important for us.
Yeah. Well, let me take a break. When we come back, look at some of the challenges they got, because some of the student leaders here have stayed since 9 a.m. because they wanted to listen to you and also learn, in their journey, what they can do, what they can learn and unlearn. and some of the challenges they may encounter and how to overcome them. So we'll look at the challenges you face so far, apart from the name calling and the insults and the sex-starved, women, and evil and witches, wicked human that you are, bitter women that you are. What?
Keyboard gangsters.
Yes.
You're watching The Standpoint. We take a break. When we come back, continue. I haven't heard that one. Keyboard gangsters.
Yeah.
What about ugly noise?
Oh, that one I know.
Okay.
That one is started a long time. We'll be back. Welcome back to The Standpoint. I wish you could hear what we talk about behind the scenes, but it's amazing. Listen, women, we are not our own enemies. It's a wonderful, we agree, disagree, and then, there is difference. Sometimes, 52 years, look at me with these ones. I'm talking as if they are my age group. Menopausal woman like me. Anyway, let me say thank you to Go-Got Yogurt by Penta Foods, Puma Drinks, and Awake Purified Mineral Water by Casa Preco Company Limited. House of Food, Antivirus, Mrs. Soforipoku, thank you so much. Yep Cleaning Services, Standing Flora and Decor for our plants, both natural and artificial, Kodam's Gift and Stationery, and everybody who supported us then, now, and in future. We are grateful. How has the journey been, Hi Sharifa? What are some of the challenges you faced and what keeps you going?
I think the journey has been a mixture of good and bad, like any other journey. It gets to a point where you get really exhausted. It gets really exhausting. It gets really lonely sometimes, but at the same time, it gets very fulfilling. I'll give a very good example. One time I was doing my research on abortion laws in Ghana, and then I come across some feminists who do not really believe in abortion laws. From my point of view, this is fine. This is your approach. If you are pro-choice, pro-life, that's fine. However, I am doing my research. There is no need for you to project your values on me because I am trying to address a gap in policy and in practice here. So these are some of the challenges. The imposter syndrome I spoke about, if everybody is going to be honest, we've all felt it, times without number. We still feel it, and it's one of the big challenges that we face.
I call it the multiple identities. So bringing your religious beliefs, your upbringing, your traditional, and then, it all becomes a mixed pot of emotions, and everything is all over the place if you're not careful trying to.
And the religious part, the religious part is what kills everything,
I know,
right? Because there are parts of my religion that actually supports feminism, and then there are parts that are a bit problematic in terms of feminism, and you find yourself in the middle. What's happening? But then I also think I am probably not knowledgeable enough, because I've had other colleague feminists who are more knowledgeable in the Quran, for example, tell me, when you learn it into more, if you learn it more, you go deeper into details, some of these misunderstandings or some of these restrictions that you have with the religion might, be resolved. I'm sure it's the same with Christianity. So it goes on and on. And I think one of the other challenges is your interpersonal relationships with people, be it romantic relationships, platonic relationships, even at work. There are so many times where there are sexist comments that are passed, and you have to make that extra effort to not be angry in addressing it. Because this comment is coming from someone who should know better, right? If someone who you do not expect so much from makes such a sexist comment or make comments, derogatory comments, it's easy for you to remain calm and educate this person. This is wrong. But then most of the time, it's the people who should know better. They make jest of it, and I do not find it funny. So sometimes they say, oh, you are too serious. Oh, some of my friends call me English woman because I would call them out on it. And so I think sometimes it takes a toll because you constantly have to have that at the back of your mind, constantly remind people that this is wrong.
Do you sometimes get to the stage to ask yourself, am I okay? Am I normal?
Yes.
Why can't I be like anybody
every morning, literally every morning. I was having a conversation not long ago about how I think I should try to ignore some of the bulbs that go off in my head when certain things happen, like laugh about it and, go on. But it's almost impossible. You see something as simple as it is, sometimes something as simple as an INC material from an organization. And this is because I do gender transformative training and on programming. So it's not just about how the systems are run, but also the kind of materials that go out. So you see a poster about teenage pregnancy, and there's so much wrong with that poster. The message is there, but then
Madam
there's
is
so
analyzing
much
the
wrong
picture.
with it. Music is even more problematic. Now, secular music we have towards women, they preach consciously and unconsciously abuse. Songs like this. If I want to relax, I'm not working. I just want to eat good food and just listen to good music. Nada. They start singing, you find a problem.
Being a feminist is hard, isn't
It's
it?
very hard. It's very hard.
I mean, and you all agree to that, Noelane.
Once you go on that road of enlightenment, you can't come back. You can't unlearn it. It's, I don't know if I can find anyone who has unlearned. And you can't unknow what you know. And when it's like your mind becomes a magnifying glass for problems. So now that is why people say feminists are never okay. Yes, we are not okay. That's the honest truth. We are not okay. Because there are a lot of things that people say wrongly around us. So we are not okay. Feminists are better. Yes, we are better. Yeah, bitter and angry. Yeah, because there's a lot of problem in the system wherever you go. In religion, where women are, I mean, people take solace in religion. They take, that's their safe place.
Yeah,
But you go there and it's not safe for you. You go to the corporate space, it's not safe. In school, it's not safe. When you walk by the roadside, it's not safe. In your own home, it's not safe.
It's not safe.
Yes. Now, if, for instance, if an uncle comes home and is playing some games with your daughter or your little cousin, and everybody's okay with it. But so the child is not okay. I don't want to hug uncle. I don't want. And you are the feminist around. I then will force you on hug. Then everybody will look at you. And the mother of the child will look at you. Why are you overreacting? You are the only one finding a problem.
Yeah, you're taking in World Cup.
Yes. And so you become the problem. Yeah, so it's very unsettling. It's they make it look like it's a fancy word that or a fancy cape that we enjoy to wear, but it's very unsettling. Just that we wear it with
women.
We wear it with pride.
Century.
Yeah, we do wear it with pride anyway, regardless.
Franca.
I'll say it again. Okay, aside the financial draining that we face, and also not getting help because of the feminist that has been attached to the name, I think it got to a point, we had a discussion on our group that why don't we just take the feminist out of it and then just make it an empowerment group? Maybe that would. But no, I refused. Aside that, I think that emotionally, like they all said, I myself have anxiety issues. For me, when I am really anxious, I experience physical pains as well. And so when we go through some of these things, especially nowadays, I try to avoid rape issues on social media and all that, because it really triggers me a lot. Yeah. Because I myself have not been a victim, but then I have so many victims. So many victims. And I sometimes I have to fall on Roxani, who is also in the space. Yeah. So this is why it is important that in the space we have lawyers, we have
networking.
So many professions in the space, so that we can go to for help. So Yeah, that is what I'll have to say. The finance and then the emotion, which is
Yeah.
very, very important.
But how do you overcome it? How do you handle it? What keeps you sane and keeps you going? Noeline?
Well, sometimes I think what really helps is unplugging. Social media, number one. Unplugging from all the things that are going on. Just stay in my own corner and enjoy the close relations around me, my sisters, my family, and enjoy the positivity in those relationships and interactions. And I just avoid all of that. Another thing I do is to, back to this issue about imposter syndrome, something that I also battle with a lot. So I remember during my Uber days, when I was driving the Uber, you wanted to have a show with me.
Yeah.
You told me about it, and I dodged.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Yeah, because I struggle with that sometimes. I'm like, what am I going to say? What do I know? Yeah, but we really downplay how much we have done and how much we are doing and the value we are bringing in society.
Right.
So I remind myself that I'm doing enough and I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
And if it gets to a point where I can't do anything more, or if doing anything more will break me, I should be able to understand that I'm human, and nobody is putting a marking scheme on my work. So I should be able to withdraw. And I mean, for a while now, a lot of people will say that I haven't really been active on social media when it comes to feminist issues. Yes, I've been quiet for a very long time. I used to be very loud about feminist issues, but I am translating that into other things, and still doing the work on the ground.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are so many ways to handle it.
Right.
You need to. I feel every feminist needs to realize what really triggers them, what space really triggers you, and learn how to unplug.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. I so much agree to the Sharifa. And I think one of the things we must also avoid is calling out each other, expecting that because I am pushing this or I'm standing for this, then every other feminist I know must jump on board. You know, must jump on board this particular thing and champion. We all have a different, we have some who belong to political parties.
Yeah.
So if there's something that we are talking about, the fact that maybe they are not being loud about it doesn't mean that they condone it.
Yeah. Very
so
true.
here I'll talk about intersectional feminism.
Okay, let Sharifa finish and then.
Actually, she started what I was going to say.
Okay.
So I think what you've said, the last thing you said is very important, and it's very important for us to acknowledge that even within the feminist circle, we have intersectional feminists, we have decolonial feminists, which I like to identify myself with, because I believe that the whole notion of feminism is there. It's not new to the African continent. It's not new to Ghana. However, if putting it in the Western light is a challenge, why don't we contextualize it to suit the needs of Ghana, or to make it locally appropriate, culturally sensitive, for example? And I'll give an example. We have our individual cultures, which are very different from each other. I am from Tamale. My culture might be very different from you. The feminist approach that will work for me might not necessarily work for you.
Exactly.
Take that away. There are feminists who are interested more in certain areas. So, for example, there are health feminists, for example. Does not mean they will not talk about feminist issues when it comes to the political sphere. They will, but for all you know, their expertise is in health or is in academia.
Exactly.
So there is a need for us to acknowledge that as a community, we all have something different to offer, and together we make the puzzle complete. So when we talk about intersectionality, it's cuts across for all of us. It doesn't matter what kind of feminist you are, because at the end of the day, there are Muslim women, there are women living with disabilities, there are teens, there are people who are financially vulnerable, there are survivors of abuse, different forms of abuse, and we all have target areas. So it's important for us to acknowledge that. And I really like what Nolene said about unplugging. I unplug a lot. There are times I go completely off WhatsApp, off Facebook, off Instagram, and I'm on all the social media platforms. I completely go off. And it's not because I just want to go off, because sometimes it gets really overwhelming.
And it's good for your sanity.
Yes. I have friends who make it a point to tag me in every story they come across on Facebook that they know has something of my interest. So they tag me on pages that talk about abuse.
And screenshot it and
send it to me on WhatsApp. And all this time, I get angry. Sometimes I get so angry, I laugh about it. And then I go off. So I have these friends, and some of them are feminists, and they tag me because they are so angry to not do anything about it. So now I decided, once in a while, I will talk on Facebook. I hardly write on anything on Facebook now, because it gets really mentally draining. The second thing I do is, with the imposter syndrome, I write everything I have done. I journal a lot too. So if I am feeling very inadequate, I try to write down everything that I have done, maybe the last 1 year, the last 2 years. And it's always also very important to have people you can talk to who can, set you back on default, to say, okay, don't, don't put too much pressure on yourself. You always need to have that go-to person, your cheerleaders who would always be there to pick you up. It's very important. Areas do not have
you
information.
are taking us to another level that will not end this program. Not this program. You are taking us to another level, So to all the feminists out there, young and old, may we know them. May we become them. May we raise them. May we see them. And may we enjoy them. God bless you. Thank you. Okay.
Like I said before, one of our programs that we do is the One Skill Reduces Poverty. And we have our leader here. She made something for you, and would like her to present that to you.
Oh, wow. This is for me. Yes. Jules Beats. That's the name of your present, okay?
Yes.
Please, what's the go with the juice.
Yes.
That is beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow, this is pretty. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So this is pouch. In case you have anything like coins or money, you just put it in this one before you put it in the bag.
She's a woman. She knows the business of a woman. I am so grateful.
My
This is
pleasure.
really good. And I hear you did this in how many hours?
2.
2 hours.
Yes.
Wow. And does that mean you learned it as part of the program, or you already knew how to do it?
Yes, I learned it on my own.
Okay, so you also help teach?
Yes,
this
please.
is Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
God bless you. I appreciate
God bless
this.
you too.
Yeah. And to everybody watching, it is mine. I'm going to write my name.
This is directed at somebody.
Thank you very much. In fact, somebody's. I'll be back with a bit of me. The Standpoint is no doubt a feminist platform. We project and talk about the holistic empowerment of women. We expose the injustices meted out to women across the board. We have broken taboo topics. We have taken the insult. We have taken the hits. But in the end, we are proud of the results that we get. We are proud of the impact we have made. Listen to me. Feminism is not an easy walk. Feminists are human beings. They have their good, bad, ugly sides and the challenges they go through. Feminists hardly fight for themselves, but it's about time that you out there, you feminists, you gender activists, or whatever name you want to give to yourself, working to ensure that women are empowered, you take good care of yourself too. Because it can affect you adversely. It can affect your relationship. No, let me start from here. It can affect your mental well-being, your physical well-being, because you can be attacked physically. Even your spiritual life. So many things that feminists go through, but they do not give up because they fight for the greater good. I remain the woman with super crazy faith in God, the woman who God gave this vision to, the woman who had been at the forefront of it, pushing it, sitting at the seat, and always asking the questions, probing. And by the grace of God, we still keep going. God has given us wisdom. And even as we move on, may we hold on to that wisdom to achieve purpose, to even do more, to reach more, to go further, and to hold the hands of the many women who are looking up to us. Thanks for watching. See you same time next week. Bye for now.